So good morning or good afternoon or late afternoon for some of you, depending where you are. We have the chance today to be with Annick Bélanger, the owner of this wonderful private estate, Sweet Bocas in Panama. So Annick, we are delighted to have you.
Thank you for having me, as always.
We're going to do a mix. We're going to do a little bit of videos and presentation. Maybe we can also answer your question right there. We're going to do something a little more live. If you have anything for Annick while we are, so let's go. So Annick, also what I'm going to do is decrease the sound. So maybe we can speak on, you can speak on the video as well.
Sure. Absolutely.
Voilà.
Absolutely.
So this is, can see it.
Yeah. So this is an overview of the property. We have all in all 22 hectares that are connected to the main villa that sits over 135 stilts above a coral reef right in the Caribbean Ocean, so on the Caribbean side of Panama. What you're seeing right now is an island in the middle of our fresh private water lake. It's the second biggest lake in the entire archipelago. And you see a little pontoon here at the end in the corner where the pontoon floats around the lake at nighttime for cocktails and snacks, and then parks the pontoon here after a few rounds so that people can either go to the pergola for an Alfresco Dining or to the Kajba, which is in the middle of the island that you saw, for a special evening of some sort. A lot of celebrations are done there, whether it's Christmas or New Year's or a milestone birthday or a wedding or an anniversary of some sort. That's our tennis court. That's also on the island. There's a whole world to discover on this 22-hectare island that's connected to the villa. So that's why Dominique said originally a private estate, because it's not just the villa, it's the entire property, which is very, very important. And we operate on a buyout basis, even if there's a small party. We've really accommodated our pricing since COVID because there's been a huge shift on people not traveling with a tremendous amount of people. And so we've made our prices a lot more flexible in order for smaller groups, like 4 people or even a couple or 5 or 6 or 7 people, to be able to come and enjoy the private feeling and not have any other groups or any other parties with them at the same time. So we are still operating on a buyout basis, just like we've always been. But the pricing is a lot more flexible so that you don't have to pay for a full house, even if you're just 2 or 5 or 7 or 8 people. And it's worked really, really well for us in the last couple of years. We've been doing this. We're starting to see bigger groups. We have a rental in March for a couple of weeks with 15 people, 9 adults and 6 kids. So this is the biggest group we've had in the last 2 years. We used to have all those big groups prior COVID. And since COVID, we've had much smaller groups, but a lot more people coming because we were more accommodating and flexible with pricing. So very, very important to understand that you still have the entire property to yourself, whether you're 2 or whether you're 27 on property. The house is,
I need to just mention how to get there, because I think we did not.
Yes. So most of our clients have flown in private, either because they own their plane or they charter the plane, because Bocas del Toro is an international airport. But some people have come commercial to Panama City. Copa Airlines has many, many, many direct flights from many cities in the States coming in directly to Panama City. And then from Panama City, you can charter a plane. We are partners in an FBO, so we can organize chartering a plane from Panama City to Bocas, or you can fly with Air Panama commercial. They have a lot less flights than they used to pre-COVID. So it's just a matter of connecting with the right times of their flights. They have about 2 to 4 flights daily right now, 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. So I can help you book those tickets should the client want to fly commercial, and arrange so that, you know, we make sure that we have seats on the plane. The water is, as you see it on this picture, like this, 365 days a year. The weather is the same, 365 days a year. It's between, I would say, 85 and 95, 100 daily. The evenings don't get any lower than 80. When it rains, it drizzles, it blows over within the hour or two. So there's no downtime, bad time, good time. I mean, it's like, it's the same. You're in the Caribbean side of the country, so there's no issues with weather. For surfing, however, we have a surfing season because it is more windy certain during periods of time of year, which is from November to end of April, and then mid-June to end of August. But otherwise, there's no mosquitoes. We don't carry mosquitoes here, so there's never been any Zika. What we do have from time to time are sandflies. They appear whenever they do, if they do, during sunset and sunrise, but never at the villa. It's mostly on the property on the 22-hectare island if they are there. So there's no issues with that kind of stuff. There's no crocodiles. You can swim very safely in the ocean. It's very calm. There's no waves here because we're like in a bay and we're very protected. So it's very, very quiet, very calm. There's nothing that's going to bother you if you're swimming in the ocean. We also have obviously an infinity pool if, the ocean doesn't interest you. And what I was going to say is the house is very accommodating, very flexible. Even with 4 or 5 people in the house, people have not felt like it's overwhelming because it's a big house. You come in here, it's a 20,000 square foot home, but you really don't feel it because of the wood. The house is entirely made out of teak. The indigenous community that we've been working here with for the last 11 years we've been here built this house. I created it and I thought about it, but they built it. So they deserve all the credit. And it feels very warm. It feels very quaint. It feels very like in the comfort of your own home. And we've had people here for the holidays and afterwards who stayed into January, and the comments are, the same always. It's like, this really feels like home. And that's the entire point of Sweet Bocas. So it means that if you don't want to wear makeup the entire time you're here, or you don't want to wash your hair the entire time you're here, or you want to wear the same clothes the entire time you're here, nobody will care. This is your home. So
what I like also, Anik, is you can leave everything open or you can close and use the air conditioning, but you have this flexibility. And I think it's rare. Huh? Look at all this. Huh? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You sometimes don't really know what's inside outside if all is open, correct, Dominique? And a lot of people really appreciate that because they don't get to live that back home, especially if people come when it's winter time in certain areas of the United States. And so, yes, and obviously with all this COVID stuff and everything like that, people enjoy it now more than ever to have everything opened up and to be able to, very much.
So this room, I call it my room, if you don't mind. I always have it and I love it because it could be a gigantic suite actually, huh? If you use because it's on the right side here, you see the door, huh? Then you have the official TV room, but it's a great bedroom number 7. Or actually big suites if you want to.
Well, speaking about suites, we have torn down our glamping structures that were in front of the lake that I was talking about earlier. We used to have 2 glamping structures that many people enjoyed, and it was wonderful and great. But as far as maintenance was concerned, it was a big headache. And so we tore those down and built 2 beautiful master suites that are absolutely gorgeous. They're not finished yet. We're finishing actually tomorrow or the day after. We've been working on them for 4 months now, but they are absolutely incredible. And so my feeling is the client is going to want to stay there and he's going to have his guests stay in the villa.
Cannot wait to see the picture on our
Yeah, when it's all done and decorated and the whole thing, because that's what I have to start doing next. So we will have those 2 master suites, and it's all the same amenities, same luxury, same, Wi-Fi, AC, same everything. And it's literally like a 2-minute walk away from the main villa. Or it's like a 30-second golf cart ride away. I mean, it's like very convenient. It's exactly where the bamboo glamping structures used to be, but it's just so, I mean, I want to move in there.
So right now on the picture, we are in the main villa, and we're on the 4th floor, on the 1st floor, where you have four suites. Huh? So they're all beautiful. Again, air conditioning, internet throughout the villa. The villa is so one of the question. But it's very, I think it's sexy at the same time. Then I don't know. I like that style. Huh? I know
it's a boho chic. It's a boho chic.
It has a nice vibe. Huh? Love the floor, everything, the bathrooms, and all these openings and window and the great view. And as you said earlier, there is no waves around, so you don't have that. You have this feeling of peacefulness all over. Huh?
Absolutely. You're in the house, you feel like you're on a boat. It feels like you're chartering a yacht, only you're not moving. I mean, when you wake up in the morning and you look out, because every room has a view to the ocean, if you wake up in the morning and you look out, you kind of have the feeling that you're going somewhere, but you're not. It's the same feeling as being on a boat. The concept was built as if the house was a boat. And so it's wonderful. It's very pleasant. It's very peaceful here. It's not a place where too many people know about. And so there's not a lot of traffic with boats, and there's not a lot of traffic with anything, especially where we are, because we're very, very secluded. And so it's extremely peaceful. This is our guest house. We've turned it in. This used to be my personal home. And we've turned it into a guest house, and it's got 2 bedrooms on the 1st floor, 2 bedrooms on the upper floor. It's got a sharing bathroom on each floor. I stayed there for years. It's very comfortable. It's very quaint. It's a beautiful, you're like in the jungle here. But that house is home for me. So any guest that you want to put in there will be, and it's again the same amenities as the villa. It's the same mattresses and same linens and same everything. There's AC there, there's Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is across the property all the way to the tennis court that you see here on this picture. We've got 400 Mbps for the speed of the internet. So you can have 50 technical apparatus working all at once, and there's no problem with the internet. So there's no issues here with any kind of telephone communications or internet. That's our pergola. We have some Alfresco dining evenings here. So after going on the pontoon around the lake 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, however times you want, you walk to this beautiful pergola and have an Alfresco dining experience where Wilma, our chef, cooks on the big green egg, whatever suits your fancy, and you just kind of spend. So this is our farm. We have a farm here. We're not completely self-sustainable, but pretty much. The only thing we don't really have are meats. So we import those from Colombia and Argentina, but all the fruits and vegetables, all the lettuces and the greens, the herbs, the spices, everything you can possibly think of, all comes from here. And you can visit the farms. We have chickens, we have our own eggs. We have kids come and pick up their eggs and bring it to the chef, and the chef cooks their, eggs or omelets or however it is that they want them to be. And it's a fabulous experience for anyone who's interested in self-sustainability and eating extremely well and healthy and organic and everything else. The chef makes great comfort food, junk food. I mean, it's like you want hamburgers and pizzas. He makes the best hamburgers and pizzas you'll ever eat in your life. And he also does all of that. But the style of the cooking here in Sweet Bocas is very healthy, very, very lean, very organic, very all of that. That's the pontoon that we were talking about. We're also changing that We are now going to have the pontoons, instead of being fiberglass, are going to be aluminum. So we're beginning to build that shortly, actually. And Dominique, I'll be sending you new pictures when it's done. It'll take a couple months, but this is the Kasbah that we were talking about on the island. Sorry, just give me 1 second.
So yeah, we've been there. We've done 2 fun trips. I think, Anne, you went also with me. We use the Casbah for everything, and it's a great outlet for party. They have music and everything. So I know if you come on a fun trip, you will definitely have an event there as well. So it's a very, very special place. So let me unmute Anik. Anik, can you unmute yourself, because I have unmute you when you, voila, perfect. Voila.
Sorry, I had to take this call. So yeah, so this is the Kasbah that kind of, you know, the sun is starting to set, and so it's all lit up at night. We have fire pits there in the front that we light up when it starts getting really dark. And there's a whole preparation kitchen. There's a whole dining room. There's a whole lounging area with a ton of candles. It's a very special place. The pictures are quite beautiful, but when you're there,
magic.
Yes, and what we do, which we always leave it a surprise for the clients, and that's complimentary of Sweet Bocas, is that we always have or a duo or a trio or a salsa band that has like 6 to 8 musicians. And when the people get on the pontoon, they hear this music, but don't really know whether, you know, where it's coming from. And they obviously assume that it's a speaker that's somewhere playing music. But then when they come into the entry of the Kasbah and they see this band or this duo or trio there playing live music, it's like everybody's kind of like, what is going on here? And it's wonderful, like the faces on people's, you know, expressions and everything. It's just, it's absolutely, and that's complimentary of Sweet Bocas. So we prefer that you don't say anything to your client if they book, because we'd like to keep it a surprise. But it works out every time. It's just really, really, and we can do fireworks as well. We've had fireworks here before, people celebrating milestone birthdays. There's an incredible supplier that we have in Panama City who comes and sets up a fireworks show for like a half an hour, and it's just absolutely beautiful. You know, it's basically whatever the client wants. It's like a custom made. I used to be an event planner before, so I can, you know, we've had 2 weddings here before. So whatever decorations, coordinations, and anything else that we can do, we do. This is the boathouse. Dominique, we just started with the clients that were here for New Year's. We gave it a try. We were, you know, feeling like they could be our guinea pigs. So we told them, would you like to be our guinea pigs? We put a long teak table. We took out the chairs, obviously, and the benches and stuff, but we put a long teak table in the middle here and had dinner here one night with these rock box pizza ovens that you can carry and just bring. So we had a whole setup on the bar, and they had this Alfresco pizza dining. I mean, it's like they loved it. And so we're going to start doing lunches and dinners here for every group that comes, because they really, really enjoyed it and said that it must be an experience that everybody who comes can do. So it'll be another spot where to have, you know, dinner or lunch.
So many options throughout the property. I love the villa, but it's true. It's always nice to say, hey, let's go there for lunch. Let's go, because you're still staying in the property, but you feel like going. And the chef is wonderful, cooking. One night it's going to be Indian food, another one it's gastronomy. I remember when we were there, we had so many fine dining that we actually teased the chef and said, can you just make a Caesar salad and a pizza? You remember that moment? And then we arrived for lunch and you had all these beautiful pizza, like he was an Italian chef. So it's quite amazing, your Vilmo, huh? Voilà.
Oh, he's fabulous. He's been here 3.5, almost 4 years now. And
your best chef so far.
He wants to build a life here. So it seems like we're going to have him for quite some time to come. So we're very thrilled. We're very thrilled. So that's our infinity pool. you know, it's like Dominique says, you can actually have it saltwater or freshwater. No one has ever asked us for saltwater, because usually
Yeah.
people go into the ocean and then come to the pool to rinse off or whatever else. So people have always wanted it fresh. But if someone wishes to have it with salt water, we can empty out the pool and put salt water in it without a problem. But it's a beautiful, as you can see, the view, it's literally 30 seconds down from the villa, walking on the dock that you see here. And we also have dinners on the deck of the pool now. We bring these teak tables, and I mean, the evening has to be quite beautiful, because if it starts raining, you're going to get rained on. But we've done it a few times, and it's also been a huge success, because people also like to rotate around the villa, around the deck of the villa with the teak tables that we have. And so they have dinner around the villa in different, you know, places. And so they have different views. That's our gym, fully equipped gym. If you want a personal trainer, there's a personal trainer that can come without a problem. And it's fully equipped with techno gym equipments, with the treadmill and elliptical and bikes and all that stuff. Although you can run around the property too. It's a beautiful, you can do like an entire loop, and it's quite nice to be able to jog around there. Yoga, we have incredible yogis. They're absolutely wonderful. Dominique had a chance to take some classes with one of them, and she's wonderful. She's also a social psychologist, and her specialty is families. And so sometimes there's some good interaction with her when we have multi-generational families here, or just, you know, families, and it's wonderful, the work that she does. So
you also have fabulous masseuses.
yeah, they're absolutely wonderful. We had a client who wanted to bring his masseuse, and I convinced the agent to say, why don't you just give him, you know, ask him to give us a chance. And if, you know, he doesn't like her, then he can fly in his masseuse if he wants without a problem. And after the first massage, he was like, okay, that's it. Like, she's great. She's wonderful. He wanted to take her home. I said, good luck. She's got 3 kids. She's very well established here. I don't think she's going to go anywhere.
Going to go, huh? Orly, you have asked me to show you again the slide of the gym. So I don't know if you have any specific question, but it's definitely a great shot. Huh? And
very inspiring to go work out there every day. I have a CrossFit class every morning from Monday to Friday. And I can tell you that there are days where I don't really feel like going. And because of this view, it's very motivating.
Okay. Yeah. And if everybody, you remember we said the water is always flat. This is exactly what you see every single day. Huh? I went in different time of the year, and it's always like that. And I thought it's incredible. Not even just a little wave, nothing. It's always like this. Huh?
Absolutely.
Voilà. Well, of course, that was just after that. 15, 20 minutes away, you have some of the best waves. Huh?
Yes, absolutely. And that's the beauty about Bocas. We're one of the best spots in the world to surf, because whether you're a very, very beginner who's never surfed before, whether you're a pro or a very advanced or intermediate, there are different reefs for different levels of surfers. The very beginner ones, there's beach reefs, obviously. And then the ones that are more advanced or intermediate or whatever have like reefs without beaches, like coral reefs. And they're as close as 15 minutes away from the property to an hour away from the property, depending on where the waves are, where the swells are going, where the channels are best, and so on and so forth. And, you know, you have a ton of different options. This is Terry Sims, who's a pro surf, well, who used to be one of the top 5 in the world back in the day. Terry's been traveling with some of his clients for over 3 decades now. And so those clients have had kids who've had kids. And so from generation to generation, they learn how to surf. And he's also a life coach, and he's fabulous. He's brought on a few clients here that have been absolutely wonderful, that he's known for decades. And it was quite fun. Tennis court, we have access to a tennis pro who used to be Gabriela Sabatini's coach when she used to play tennis. And so he lives in Panama City. We fly him down and the client spends as much time as he wants with him. The client can even play at night. You see there's some lights there. So it's either, it's whatever time of day the client wants to have him. He's available 24/7 staying on property. We have all kinds of boats and different toys to play with, from wakeboarding to water skiing to tubing to sub wings to, it's like, we have it all. We have all the paddle boards and the kayaks and, so on and so forth. So there are plenty of activities to do here. We had a couple last year who came for a total of 2 months, all in all, throughout the year. And one of the rentals, they were here for 1 month and they did one activity daily for 29 days without doing the same activity twice. So,
and I will send the activity. You have a beautiful activity document that I will be sending in the follow-up with the recording. Yeah.
If you take a chance to look at it, it's very interactive and it explains everything like very nicely. Lots of beaches. We don't
have a little video, Annick, that we can show on the beach. Huh? I see Sarah, you missed a little bit the beginning. What is the absolute maximum number of guests this property can accommodate?
That's a hard question. I'll give you what we've accommodated to the maximum so far. This is recent. This picture is very recent. We've only been doing this for a year now. We have this giant screen coming out of the ocean and people are watching a movie under the stars at night. It's just, we've had some families who've come here and who've watched a movie every single night, the entire time they were here. Every night, whether we do the pontoon and the pergola in the island, whatever time those events end, they want a movie afterwards. And it's every night. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. It's such an incredible experience to live. Anyway, to go back to the question, the biggest multi-gen family we've ever accommodated here is 16 adults and 17 kids from ages 2 to 17. Regarding toddlers, because we've had a lot of requests lately with young children and mothers being a little afraid because we're sitting over the water and there's absolutely no fences and no this and that, there's absolutely no issues. The decks around the villa are 30 feet wide. Before a toddler gets to the end of the deck, it's impossible. With the amount of people that are here and the eyes that are here, the toddler never gets a chance to even come close to half of the deck before someone grabs him and takes him back. We have life vests. We also have access to nannies who could come if the client doesn't have a nanny that he wants to bring or this or that, because we have clients who travel with their nannies, but we have clients who don't. So if they want to have a nanny here, we can provide that. So 16 adults, 17 kids, and the biggest group of adults we've ever accommodated is 33. There's 13 bedrooms, which means 26 adults, but depending on how flexible and open the client is, when we had 33 adults here, the couples had the bedrooms and the single people stayed upstairs in the attic. There's 6 of them staying in one room because they couldn't care. It's like, it depends. But if not, there's 26 adults that can sleep very comfortably with their own bathrooms and the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. So before we finish, we're gonna have this little video on this beautiful beach, but just your wonderful staff, because that's also like the experience, the stuff behind. They are multicultural, actually. They are actually all living from Panama. Tell us a little more about the staff.
So
where they're coming from.
We've been very privileged with the staff. We've been very lucky. We've always had, well, first of all, the indigenous staff that work with me daily and have been for 11 years are extraordinary. And one of my missions was to be able to work with the indigenous community of the archipelago. I've had some of the staff with me since the first day 11 years ago. And they're wonderful. They've changed my life and I adore them and love them dearly. And we've exchanged so much on the cultures and everything else, and it's just been a fantastic experience. The customer service staff is also wonderful. They all come from different places in the world. They all end up in Bocas for all kinds of different reasons, mostly because of the surf. And they come from Switzerland and from the Netherlands or from Australia or Norway or Argentina, or I mean, it's like it's a hodgepodge. They all speak like 2, 3, 4 languages. They've all traveled some. They all have a head on their shoulders. They can carry a conversation and discussion with the client on, so many things. I don't allow them to talk about politics or religion. Those are 2 things that they just cannot go. But they're very whole people. They are here to make people just like be, and to take care of them, and to do anything and everything that suits their fancy. They're absolutely not starstruck. They don't care who you are and what you do and whatever it's like. They're literally here to just have you have the most different and authentic experience that you can possibly have, and they're wonderful. Wonderful.
Sarah, the question, what time of the year is the best for beginner to intermediate surfer?
Again, it's the surfing season, so it's from November, beginning of November to end of April, and then from mid-June to end of August. There's like 8 months of the year that you can have like some great surfing. However, global warming also exists here. And so sometimes there are days in those periods of time that you can't surf because there's no wind and there's no swell. Yeah. September and October have been the flattest months for decades here. And last September, some people were surfing. So it's like, but, all in all, from beginning of November to end of April, or from mid-June to end of August, that is like the best time.
So maybe we just finish on showing some of these wonderful, because I don't think anyone really knows what Bocas del Toro can offer, and there is so many deserted islands, and we are so close to the US or anywhere in the Americas. So
you have over, in the entire archipelago, you have over 300 and something islands, and only 5 of them are habited.
Can you believe that?
Every other one is virgin. Every other one is exactly the way that you see it now, with this color sand, with like, obviously a little bit of waves and stuff because they're further out, but they're as close as 20 minutes to a half an hour from the property. And you are alone on these beaches. There is absolutely nobody there. Mm-hmm. So we can take you there for a morning, or for an afternoon, or for an entire day if you want. We can take lunch there. We can bring games there. We can do anything and everything. We can set everything up on the beach, and you can have like a lovely, beautiful day all day long. And you are alone. It's like there's no one else around. And there are plenty of them around. So there's no issues with deserted and private beaches here. It's like there's more than you can think of. And
I don't think this is very known. You have this fabulous beach around in this Caribbean part of Panama. Some people sometimes go very far in the world to find beautiful beach, and they are very close. It's just maybe not used to find this beach.
Here. Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Annick, we went a little bit over time, but I hope it was interesting for everyone. I don't know if I answered some of the questions while we were doing the webinar. Is there any other question before we say goodbye? And we will be sending you the recording. You can take an appointment with Annick if you want to know more, or maybe discuss, future reservation on the Let's Connect 365, which is our appointment platform. You have 15 minutes with Annick or more if you want her to speak for longer.
It's been wonderful. The meeting has been wonderful. It's been so good. I've been doing them for a year now, and it's absolutely, absolutely wonderful.
Thank you, Annick. To also watch our webinars, we have them all on our YouTube channel, Dominique Debec Collection. So anything, we're going to be sending you so much information about the surf, the activities, and trust me, and trust some of you who've been with me that I see on the webinar, on the attendee list. It's a very special place, very, very special place. So I see maybe one more question. And you said, yes, the chef is truly amazing. That's for sure. Céline, thank you, thank you. Ollie, thank you. Oh, well, but thank you everyone for being there, taking the time to listen to us. And thank you to you, Anik. It was a pleasure to have you. I know you're busy, you're in between, and your clients just left and you're preparing for the next one to arrive. So
Exactly.
good luck, and big hug to you.
Thank you, everybody.
And stay well in your little paradise. Huh? Bye, everyone. Bye.
Ciao. Ciao.